Hello everyone. In today's video we are going to be fixing this huge issue that I have with my heating blanket. So it's a very nice blanket, but the cord is very long and the controller for it just kind of sits down there on that box. So as you can see, it's all piled up, the cord and everything, along with all the other junk that I threw underneath my PC panel there. So yeah, we're going to try to fix that today with this new series I want to call Practical Printing. So yeah, as you can see, there's a whole lot of cord. I turned it on, I change the temperature, I throw it back down, and sometimes when I throw it down, the temperature gets knocked around because that knob is really easy to turn. So my bed could either be way too hot, way too cold. So I just want to solve that with a little bit of 3D printing. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to design a bracket that sort of positions this controller about there. Kind of want to tilt it up though a little bit so that way it's a little easier to access. And so it'll give me the ability to switch it on and off and change the temperature however I want. And I kind of want to do something with all that cabling, like loop it up and stick it underneath, something like that. Maybe use some zip ties to really hold it in place. So I've got a pair of calipers here, very nice ones. They're about 12 inches, Mako, stainless, hardened, all that good stuff. And I'm going to use those to go ahead and measure some important dimensions that will help me sort of get the right angle on the bracket. I'm just going to do this all by eyeball. It's not too mission critical. So that's about 60, I'd say. Let me try to get a better position on this. And I kind of not really sure on this one. It's a little hard to take the right measurement because I'm eyeballing it. It almost looks like 30. Let me try to get a better angle. 25. It looks like it. Yeah, 25. No, not 20. Yeah, looks about 25. So 25 and 60, those are our two triangle measurements, and we'll go ahead and take those and import them into Fusion, which, as you can see, I've already started doing. So here we are in Fusion. I've got that triangle drawn up, like I said, 60 by 25, and I'm just going to go ahead and add a 5mm offset just for some extra material. My mouse is kind of offset in the recording. I'm not sure why, just the Windows recording didn't really like it. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and extrude this triangle out to the distance that it would cover the whole controller, which is about 87mm. Now I'm going to add in some pegs because on the bottom of the controller there's these little holes that are meant for the screws to hold together the controller, but I'm going to use them as mounting locations. So I got to measure that back, and it's about 13.5mm or so. And then I'm just going to put in a circle that is about the same size, but since it's diagonal it's a little hard, so I'm going to try to undersize the hole a little bit. And the print's going to be a little larger anyways, just because the plastic expands, so we can just shave it down if it needs to, or glue it in if it's a little too loose, but I think it'll be fine. Now I'm going to use a construction line as a mirror line, and I'm going to just mirror over that circle, so that way I don't have to dimension up another one. Now I'll extrude those circles downwards, since they're on the same plane as the top of the ramp, and once they touch the ramp, we'll go ahead and extrude down, so that way we're removing material until it's about the same height as the holes on the controller are. That's pretty confusing to explain, but it's a lot easier in practice, trust me. Now I'm going to add in the hanger, which is about 27mm long, and I'm going to have it be 5mm thick, because 5mm thick is a really good plastic to strength ratio. And at the end of that, I need to add in another little lip that's also 5mm thick, but it cannot take up any of that 27, otherwise, well, the hanger won't fit. I'll go ahead and extrude that to the length of the part, and then we can work on getting rid of some of this bulky material. So to remove material, I'm just going to go ahead and use the offset tool and create a 5mm offset on most of these parts, which just allows for a really quick and simple removal. And then I'll add in a cross beam here and there just so that way there's some extra strength, because just those two little bars on the outside won't be enough. This process is simple enough, and I'll go ahead and repeat that for the triangular side. So on the bottom of this, I am going to put some zip tie holes so that way I can zip tie up all the loose cable and get that out of the way. I was a little worried about the bridging since those are very long bridges, but as you'll see in the time lapse, that turned out quite alright and there was nothing to worry about. So coming up, we have a time lapse. Go ahead and enjoy that. So here we have the finished part. There's a little bit of artifacting right there just from where the print is, but other than that, looks pretty good. I mean, there's some stringing. That's just, you know, temperature and retraction, all that. That's not too, I don't really care about that sort of stuff. These little knobs printed pretty well. I mean, you know, there's some droop there, but other than that, I mean, they printed perfectly, and I don't really care about that either. I'll just nip it off with a pair of pliers or something. So yeah, those overhangs printed absolutely flawlessly there. I was not expecting them to be that good, but they were. So yeah, perfect. So I'll go ahead and grab the controller and we can try test fitting the parts. I did have to kind of take off some of the knob there because I eyeballed it, but other than that, it fit pretty well. There's a little bit of a gap underneath there, so a little bit of hot glue or padding down there would be nice, but other than that, it fits perfect. So here we are at the bed. I've got the heated blanket sitting there on the left. I've gone and snapped that in. Fits really well. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the cord there. So get that plugged in real fast, just sort of off camera. As you can see, it works well. I mean, it's just a simple little bracket, something that's gonna kind of get rid of that headache every night, trying to set the temperature to what I want it to be. It's a little loose in there, it kind of slides about as well. Once again, a little hot glue or maybe some electrical tape will fix that right up. I just don't really have any on hand at the moment. So I've gone ahead and zip tied all the wires together. You know, kind of messy. Use 2 zip ties. It's whatever. I designed this part really bad though. That outer hole should have been like a U instead of a full hole. It makes it a little easier to get that zip tie through. So yeah, but doing this two-handed for the camera like that, not very easy. But I do, yeah, rip that off and there we go. Zip tie right through. Made it a lot easier getting that after I took off that controller. So the point of that zip tie is just to hold that wire out of the way off the ground, so that way, you know, don't have a bunch of wires on the ground, because I don't want wires on the ground. So pop that back in, put that back on, and we'll go ahead and zip tie that there. I kind of trying to figure out where best to put this. It's kind of odd, maybe through there, just on the zip tie, so that way it supports the rest of the wire, not just through one wire. And there we go. Look at that. That is perfect. Boom. Boom. Great. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're inclined. Leave a comment down below. Maybe let me know what you want to see next time. Once again, this is a new series called Practical Printing that I'm going to be starting. So, yeah, stay tuned.